Hello everyone, my name is LaPrecious and welcome to my channel, Let's Talk with LaPrecious. So today I'll be talking to you all about why I want to become an entrepreneur. I've been thinking about becoming an entrepreneur ever since, I'm 23 years old now, so I've been wanting to be an entrepreneur since the age of 19. And the first reason why I wanted to have my own money was because I wanted my own money. I wanted something with my name on it. I wanted something from my hands to be created and be sold to people so that I can just make more money than what I would be making at a job working for someone else. But I want to say now the passion for being an entrepreneur is a lot stronger because of my experiences of working for other people, living with other people, and pretty much my encounters with people. I know some of you may not like preaching or tell it like it is talking or whatnot, but I'm just going to be as authentic as I can be in my video. So if you all don't like somebody who preaches or tells it like it is, or someone who's authentic and not ghetto and not ratchet and so woke and whatnot, I suggest that you leave my channel, that you exit out this video and never return again, because this is a channel of authenticity, that I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to cover up anything. I'm not going to purse my lips about anything unless need be. And eventually later on in another video where I can express how I feel, you'll get into that video as well. So that's just a quick disclaimer I want to give you all. So moving along to my stronger desire of wanting to be an entrepreneur is I'm tired of dealing with depression, because when I've been at the jobs that I've been in my life, they've been oppressive. Now, at my first job that I had, it wasn't as oppressive. It wasn't. My first job ever was a translator, because to those of you who know or don't know, I am fluent in English and Spanish. I can write in Spanish, read in Spanish, speak in Spanish, hold a conversation in Spanish, everything in Spanish. And so when I was 19 years old, I was a translator for about 3 years for a couple who owned their own janitorial service at the church that I went to at the time. And it was fun, and I was happy about it because I was finally doing something that I always wanted to do. So I did it, and I got paid pretty well for it. Then the next job that I had was a customer service job. Now, when I was under the person that was over me, it was cool. I got along with my coworkers. I got along with the customers. I pretty much got along with everybody. Never had an issue with anybody. Never had a discrepancy or whatnot with anybody. It was all good. But once an incident had happened and the person that was over me was no longer over me and someone else had slid in their position, that's when things changed. Now, there was a sub person that was over us underneath the new person that was over us, and they were pretty cool. They threw parties for us. They gave us gifts. They appreciated us. I mean, they treated us like human beings. But for whatever reason, and this person, the person that was over the sub person at the time, I had a nickname for him. They were called a tyrannical tyrant, because that's what they were starting to act like. Because for whatever reason, when people get into authoritarian figures, they feel like they can talk to you any kind of way. They can treat you any kind of way. If you don't have the same amount of money that they have, they can spit on you. The same amount of accolades or awards or prestige or background, they can talk and teach you and walk you like a dog, pretty much. And then what's even worse about these people, that if this person is oppressing you, they always got those supporters that are vouch for them, whether they do right, wrong, or in between. And it's hard to get help and to even get away and to break away from people, and even to stay in good graces with them after you've had some type of discrepancy with people like that. And so it started to become like that at the place that I was working at, and I eventually did leave. But I didn't leave because of that. I left because I had moved to North Las Vegas to be with family, because I'm originally from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I moved back here about a couple months ago. But at the time I left that job to move out to North Las Vegas to be with family. And so, that was just something that I noticed. And even when I worked at a 7-Eleven in North Las Vegas, the boss, she was just the same way. I mean, just rude, insensitive, very pushy, and would even speak to you, would even talk about you in their native language and right in front of you. And then you looking at them and they're telling you, and you know good and well that when you live on the West Coast, working for a 7-Eleven, y'all know the type of people that own those places, and you know how they talk to people, especially people that look like me. And so that was something I had to experience when I was out there. And the other position that I got when I was in Vegas, I had a different boss. Now, she wasn't that bad. As a matter of fact, she wasn't bad at all. You know, she was respectful, she was clean cut and clear and precise. She stuck to her job, she did what she was supposed to do. She made sure everybody had what they needed. And if you couldn't do your job or what you were set up to do, she made sure you got somewhere that you knew what to do, and you'd be good. So I really enjoyed working with her. But since moving back here to Winston, I've at the previous jobs that I've had, excluding the new one that I have now, because the job that I have now, which I tell you all about in later videos, the boss that I have now is nice, caring, loving, considerate, just my ideal boss, and the one that I love, and the one that I want to keep. And I really do hope that they stay that way. But anyways, at the previous job I had before this one, same thing. Rude, disrespectful, didn't care, ran the business like whenever, and it just didn't make any sense. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of y'all may dislike me for this, and you may say, well, that's why you go through so much, and that's why you deal with this and deal with that. When it comes to this professional stuff where you have to quote unquote act dumb or act stupid to real life situations and facts, I'm not that kind of person. I've never been fired from a job because I always knew my worth well enough to leave, especially if the place of business became a place that wasn't for me. And so when it comes to this professional persona that people want you to put on, I'm just not down for being fake. Now, when I do work, I'm polite, I'm respectful, I'm polite. I will tell a customer who comes in or anybody, hey, how are you? My name is such and such, and I'm here to help you out with that. I've never been a rude person to a customer, never been disrespectful to a customer or a boss or a sub boss or anybody like that. So when I work, I know, how to handle myself. But when it comes to disrespect, and when it comes to inconsistency and not being and not being properly trained and being properly prepared, because I've dealt with this in previous places of employment before, that's where I have to be like, okay, then I need to have a discussion with somebody. Because I've never been the type of person to be afraid or scared to reach out to my employer and say, well, I'm not getting what I need. Is there anything else that I could do to better myself or help myself? And that's what an employee is supposed to do with their employer, because you have a lot of employers. And this is something else I just really don't understand, that people hate for you to ask questions. They hate for you to ask in-depth questions. How are you supposed to do this? How are you supposed to do that? Where can I find this? Where can I find that? And they either want you to figure it out on your own, or use the ever favorite quote, Google it. Everything that's in a position cannot be Googled, and it can't be looked up on a cell phone or a computer. Sometimes that's going to be needed from you. And so by me being underneath these types of employers, it's encouraging me to be a better one when I have my own business. Because when I have my own business, I would never, ever, ever, ever treat employees the way that I've been treated, or the way that I've seen other employees treated in the workplace. Because as a Christian, and I know a lot of y'all gonna come at me with that, but you might as well, because I know the Bible too. So if you come at me wrong, I can correct you with that. As a Christian, you don't talk to people any kind of way. And I know everybody's not saved. I know everybody's not Christian, and everybody doesn't read the Bible, nor follow it, nor believe in it. But as a Christian, I'm a strong believer that there is a way that you talk to people, and there's a way that you don't talk to people. And there's a way that you treat people, and there's a way that you don't treat people. And even though God is the judge and the one who governs everything, he did put authoritarian figures in position so that our world can have some type of order. So, even though people say they believe God and love God and they listen to him or anybody else, God set the tone for police officers, officials, presidents, bosses, teachers, principals, so that we can have order in our world. But somewhere in the Bible, I'm not able to quote it word for word, but there is a part in the Bible that says that even though these people are in authoritarian positions, they're not above God. Because just like we, the people under them, have to be judged one day, they have to be judged too. And so, and then another thing that's really common in the places that I previously worked at was the negative attitudes and the spirits and the atmosphere. For whatever reason, a lot of these places, part-time places that is, they seem to be filled with people that are bitter and mad and upset, and they hate their jobs, they hate their life, and they hate the way things turned out for them. And my thing is that if you didn't come into this job with a set plan in order for you to get what you needed to get from here and then get out, why even sign up for the job? I understand that people live certain lives and people make decisions that put them in places in their lives where they deal with financial struggles, and they have to get the part-time jobs that they have to make ends meet and to make things better than before. But it's still no reason to have an attitude. Spitting in people's food is not acceptable. Refusing to give people more than one sauce packet or two sauce packets is unacceptable. Rushing people out of line so you won't have to deal with them. Rushing people off the phone. Just silly little stuff like that. And then when you see people in your workplace that are doing the right thing, asking the right questions and whatnot, then you want to be mean to them. And then when they correct you or they make things easier for you, then you got the nerve to be vindictive. You start stealing stuff, hiding stuff, making them look crazy, making them look like they done did this and did that, and then you try to get them fired. And to me, with places of business like that and the places I worked at, they've been full of adults and non-adults. I feel like even when you're not an adult, when you reach a certain age, basically 16, 17 years old, it's time for you to learn something already. Because the vindictiveness and the meanness and the rudeness and stuff like that, it's just not necessary. I understand people go through things that make them mad and make them angry, make them upset. I'm human too. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but there have been times where I've caught attitudes and roll my eyes or whatnot because of something I was dealing with or an issue I had with that person. So I understand that. But when you let this stuff spill over into the environment and you treating everybody else like you wish you could have treated that person that did you wrong, that's when, I'm like, okay, enough is enough. Like they say, whatever happens outside of work, leave it outside, but don't bring it to work. So as an employer of my business, and I'm not going to tell what my business is going to be until, I get my business started up and, I talk about it later on in videos, is that I want to be the best boss that I wish I had, but also the best boss, period. Period. Because I understand that employees, excuse me, that you have to listen to your bosses, your employers, whomever is writing your check, collecting your hours, who hired you and gave you the job. I understand that. But, there is a way to run business. I worked in business where they've just been so unorganized. People always have to call out because supplies are missing. People are always having to call out because somebody doesn't know how to make this or make that or get into the computer. Having to call out because the computers aren't working and you can't get orders in. And people are calling, making orders, and just a lot of dysfunction and a lot of confusion. And that's something that I never want to do with my business, and that's the way that I never want to run it. Because as a Christian, and that's another thing about my videos, I am Christian. And when I say I'm Christian, I believe in Jesus God and the Holy Spirit, and I read the Bible and believe it for what it is. And if you don't like that, I suggest that you leave, exit out the video, exit off of my channel, and just leave me alone, because I'm going to talk about Jesus and God and the Bible throughout all of my videos. And if you don't like it, then oh well. Find somebody else who's an atheist, who's agnostic, or whatever religion or belief system you believe in. So, yeah, that's how I would run my business. My business will be God led, it'll be God filled, and it'll just be a place of abundance. Now, I'm not going to exclude people from my business that aren't Christian, but it will be a place that where people can feel welcomed, of all sexualities, all races, all ages, everything. And that's another thing people kind of have messed up about Christ. And I know I'm getting on a tangent, but I just feel the need to say this. Christ does not hate anybody. A lot of people get a distorted message from a lot of so-called Christians because they say they love God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, but they hate gay people. They hate white people, black people, Hispanic people, whomever type of people. They block other people's blessings so they can continue to get theirs. They stop people from answering their callings from God. They stop people from starting ministries in their churches. A lot of these so-called Christians, they give a lot of people who aren't Christian false perceptions of who Christ is, and Christ is nothing like that. Those people, they're nothing but devils disguised as Christ. But as a Christian person, and even Christian establishments, we may not believe in everything that the world does, but we're not supposed to hate the world. We're supposed to welcome the world, but at the same time, follow the Bible for what it says. We're not supposed to tear people down, um, be rude to people, be disrespectful to people, kick people out, and shun people, and hurt people, and make people feel like they're not worth anything. That's not who Christ is, and that's not what he's about. And therefore, since I'm Christian, that's not what I'm about. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.